Our presentations tonight are going to be on budget planning for special ed and facilities and operations. And who gets to go first, Dr. Luff?
So we're going to invite up Miss Melissa Estrella and Miss Christina Feal to do our special education budget program overview. Welcome.
I'm usually too short, so now this evening I won't be. So tonight I'm presenting alongside Christina Feal, our new supervisor of special education. And I just have to take a quick moment. I know some of you have already met Miss Feal, but for those of you that haven't, she started in July, right at the start of our extended school year program, and jumped right in. She was supporting with our new programs, from curriculum design to supporting our new teachers, didn't skip a beat. So we're so happy and thankful to have Ms. Feal with us. And tonight she'll talk about some of our programming, okay? So for this evening, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at overall enrollment, not just special education, but overall enrollment for the district. We're going to talk about how that leads our new programming, our staff training. Our staff training is really driven by the needs of our students and how that changes every year. And then we're also going to talk about our pathways to high school, right? So we're going to take a look from kindergarten all the way to high school. Okay, total enrollment. So if you take a look at the top, what we've done is we're taking a look at the last 4 years. So these numbers are any students that enroll from, say, September, April, it doesn't matter when, also kindergarten students. So if we take a look at 22-23, we had a total enrollment of 215 new students. Of that, though, 113 were new incoming kindergarten students. Of that number, we had about 9 kindergarten students that came through that were from our special education, that received special education services. Now, if we fast forward to 25-26, just to right before all of the snow, we had a total of 208 students already enrolled in the district, and we're only, in February, mid-February. Of that, though, 110, so about half, were our new kindergarten students. Of the 208 students, 38 students came to us in need of special education services. And additionally, we had 25 students from our special education preschool program that came through. Next year, we're looking at about 20 students, potentially, for kindergarten that'll be in need of special education services to some degree.
And Melissa, I just want to make a point. I just don't want anyone to think that these are total overall enrollment. 'Cause
Overall.
It's not. So,
Overall.
Just overall new students.
correct.
Overall
New
new
to-
students to
new.
the district.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the things that we kind of want to highlight is, on many occasions, parents come to us, especially our new students, our new kindergarten students. Their parents often say to us that they move to the district, really looking for the supports of special education services. And that really speaks volumes to our teachers and our staff here that have really supported our students within special education. So if we take a look at kindergarten, correct? We're looking at about 20 students potentially needing special education services. And what that means is we really want to provide the earliest of interventions possible. Of the 20 students potentially coming in, about 1/3 may require highly specialized programs. And that's our smaller programs that really target sensory-friendly environments, social-emotional learning. With that, what we're doing is we're taking a look, we're anticipating that we're going to have specialized staffing needs, meaning that we're taking a look that we may have the need of one more special education teacher along with teaching assistants and aides to support our new programming at these very early ages. What we're doing with that is we have to make sure that our resources are allocated appropriately, meaning, do we need new technologies? Do we need AAC devices? And what resources do we need within the classroom to support this new programming? Another area that we have to look at is our overall enrollment within special education not just through Putnam Valley view, but our region and also the state. So if we take a look here, I'm sorry that this is slightly small, so I'll read to you. We take a look at our New York State report card, which gives us the regional data from 24-25. Putnam Valley had 14% of its total enrollment of students receiving special education services. It's slightly higher than where we would like, around 13% that the state encourages. But if you take a look, we're well below New York State, which is at 20%, and some of our neighboring districts. But what this is telling us is that we have a long-term plan to support our students that are requiring special education services. And what we'll do now is Ms. Feal will talk to us a little bit more about our programs.
Sorry, I don't need the box. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's been going on up at the high school. So our RISE program, which is Reaching Independence Through Support and Education, is in its freshman year at the high school. It's a highly specialized program designed to support students who need very intense academic support, social emotional behavior, and activities of daily living. So we're very excited about that and all the work that's been happening there. We've also, as a part of that, we have our staff that work in our RISE program that have really helped foster connections within the greater high school community, and that's really been achieved through Best Buddies. They've had a lot of authentic opportunities to engage with their peers. They've created events for the program, but also helped facilitate our RISE students feeling comfortable in things like Color Wars, which this year was my first year, and I saw firsthand how big that was, so it was nice to see all of our students be able to participate. And then additionally, as a program, we've been reaching out to expand our community partnerships. So we recently worked with the Inclusion Center right down the road to create inter-district opportunities. So we did a visit with another high school with a similar program, again, just to offer our students some more social opportunities. And then lastly is that school-wide support. We've been really lucky at the high school where the program's been fully embraced. Both by all the faculty that work in the program. I don't want to miss anybody, so I'm not going to list names, but they have gone above and beyond in participating in meetings to help create systems and structures that are meaningful for our students, but also so that way it mirrors that of their peers. And then also the high school admin team, so Dr. Payne and Matt Mello, they have committed to having weekly meetings, again, to creating systems and structures to not only get through this year, but continue to create a program that's going to thrive.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is RISE a different program than the New Horizons that we see in the elementary and middle, or is it sort of
It's the high school.
high school
Yeah.
version? Okay.
Yeah. So here we're talking, so up on top, and again, it's a little small, we went and looked back at the last 2 years, and we wanted to look at our students with disabilities and what paths they took after high school. Generally speaking, 70% all went on to some post-secondary education, be it 2 or 4 years, with some of our students going off to the workforce and then in 2024 going into the armed forces. So for our internal foundation, so this is where we are right now. We have school-based internships really throughout the high school, and this is really focusing on developing their skills and independence. And this is for our students that are staying beyond a traditional 4-year. Some of our students with IEPs will stay with us beyond just that 18th year, or the year they turn 18, their senior year, while they're still working on be it their program or their requirements for graduation. Where we're going is we want to look at more community expansion. So expanding our internships to no longer just be in the high school, but to really be throughout the community through partnerships, creating job shadowing, and really help facilitating that transition to employment.
Okay, so our professional development this year, we've been quite busy. We're continuing many of the efforts that we started over the last couple of years, one of the areas being in our mental health and social emotional learning. We have pilots going on right now to do DBT counseling sessions. We're rolling out Character Strong, which is an evidence-based program for social emotional learning within our middle school. And we're going to be rolling that out to our elementary next year. That'll also include Tier 2 supports. So we're really strengthening and being able to support our students in various areas that they need for very short periods of time. We also are taking a look at our tech areas. So what we've been doing is the last couple of years, we've been inviting outside resources into the school to provide training for our assistants, as well as our teachers and related service providers that work with AAC devices to support our students with increasing their communication. And we're going to continue that. We're also taking a look at our inclusive models, meaning our ICT, our integrated co-teaching frameworks. So what that means is we're taking a look at new strategies and ways to strengthen our ICT classes to provide new and innovative supports for our students.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Who is, for the mental health and SEL, for the Character Strong that you're implementing, last year I remember the counselors were teaching the SEL, which was now this year that has changed. I believe it's like the gym teacher.
So the Character Strong is being led by our school psychologists and counselors in small groups that are at a tiered level of supports.
So does every student receive it?
Yes, in the middle school, we are starting to roll it out in that area. Yes, it's a new program.
So
We've
not just special ed, like Gen?
Mhm,
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
And how is it going to be rolled out in the elementary school?
Next year.
And
So
also by the psychologists and the counselors, or by?
both, potentially. Right now, we're looking at our counselor starting in the elementary level.
Great, thank you.
Melissa, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The AAC integration, I know it states under here what it is, but can you talk to it more? So, because it's a little hard to see.
So there's various programs, but what we can do is we can take a look at an iPad that would have core words. These are words that we use throughout our day to get us our different needs and our wants, and also to communicate with others. So using an AAC device, if a student has difficulty with being able to verbally, we would use an AAC device and a blend.
Thank you.
Next year, looking at budgeting, part of it. So we've already spoken to the fact that we may be looking at hiring a special education teacher as well as support staff based upon CSE, the Committee on Special Education recommendations. But what we're also doing is we've started to look at Medicaid revenue. So what that means is we're taking a look at getting reimbursed for some of our related services that are within the Medicaid umbrella. Right now, we're anticipating that potentially our gross would be around 100,000, net around 50 because the state takes. But this could be a nice general fund revenue. And then, as Christina already spoke to, our internship opportunities. So what we've already done is we've begun asking some of our community members, which is what we're doing now as well, small businesses that may want to offer internships to our students next year. And we're going to start really targeting our staff here for those connections that they may have in the community. And since we're here with the community, we can also ask for any support there as well. Okay? And then we have some of our really wonderful pictures of our programs here. Christina spoke to, Ms. Feal spoke to the bottom corner. What we did is another school district met us, and we had different stations available for the students to all mingle and get to know one another and try new games or crafts. It was a very nice day. Okay, any questions or thoughts?
I just want to compliment the department on the good works that you do for these children. It's just outstanding. And the care and the devotion that goes into guiding them for a better future and to be as inclusive as possible. We can't praise it enough. That extra position, the numbers certainly warrant that. They are very high. Will this cover everything you're anticipating for next year, that one position? Because I was looking at maybe a 1.5 myself for that increase in numbers.
We're anticipating one staff member would be supportive, especially just we're really looking at our younger grades, K1 grades.
Yeah.
That would be the support that we would need.
Okay, thank you.
And for long term as well. So we want to make sure that if we're bringing somebody on board that this is for a long term.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, real quick, I'm sorry.
You
Just
know,
a-
you don't get away that easy.
Guess not.
On the regional data slide, you mentioned, so we're at 14%, and you mentioned 13% is the state encourages that? What do you mean by that?
13.
Yeah, but
so-
like when you say the state encourages, I don't understand what that.
So we're always looking to support. So for instance, we're really targeting our early intervention supports. The state encourages the least restrictive environment, meaning as close to general education as possible. So in order to do that, you're providing intense supports now so that as students grow and take in the skills and strategies that they've been taught, that they will then be able to be in a general education atmosphere as close as possible.
Right.
And so the state encourages around 13% would be your target. But with our growth, we're also supporting our students.
Great. Thank you. Thank you both very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I just want to state first, I couldn't be more proud of Melissa and Christina. And while Melissa is not new to the district, both are new to their positions this year. And I think just looking at the slide that talks about the growth within our program speaks volumes to the services we're able to offer students. I want to point out for every one of these students we educate in district, many neighboring districts outsource at a much higher cost to taxpayers in the community. If you're unable to provide the services in-house, the tuition for some of these students is upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars per child to send them out of district. And with the highly specialized and skilled teachers and support staff we have here, we're able to meet the needs of many of these students, which is part of the reason why you see the numbers that we see here. I think the fact that 208 students that have already moved into our district this year is a huge nod to the work that happens here each and every day. The fact that 200 students, of which 98 of them are not kindergarten enrollees, so 98 have moved in from grades 1 through grades 12, speaks volumes to the services that we're able to provide these students, regardless of whether they're classified in special education or not. To the staffing point, we used to have classes that spanned 3 grade levels. For some of these specialized programs to meet the needs of our students. What we've seen recently is those classes have gone from 3 levels to 2 levels to even 1 level. So now we're talking about a small group instructional space for a class of only kindergartners. And if that trend continues, we will likely see and require an increase in the number of special education staff, because rather than one teacher covering those students across 3 grade levels, we now have that same one teacher
Exactly.
covering a single grade level. So I don't want anyone to be surprised if that number continues to grow from 19 3 years ago to 38 last year, that that's growth is going to, even if it stays at 38 every year moving forward, it's still going to require at least 1 class for each grade level moving forward. The alternative is to pay tuition for these students to go elsewhere, which would cost the district significantly more. So I think we can provide a better service for these students, we can keep them with their peers, and we can keep our costs as low as possible by continuing to educate them here. And that's only made possible because of the work of Melissa and Christina and your staff. So thank you both, thank your staff for everything they do, and thank you for supporting our students.
Thank you.
Thank you.